Hi, today I'm going to show you how to do the lab program number 7, that is how to convert the text into speech. I've already kept my Android Studio open. So first let me design my activity main.xml. So very simple design we do. So I'll just go to code. I use the linear layout again. So orientation, choose it as vertical. Now this text view will change it to text to speech. Height I'll say, yeah, height is wrap content, and width I'll say match parent. Alignment center, text size, I'll give it as 25 ESP, and then ID is not necessary for this. Text color, this is fine. Next, after this, I'll go for creating. I'll show you the design now. So this is how it is looking. Okay, text to speech at the center. Just below this, I add an edit text for reading the pitch and rate. So speech as the pitch, and it also has the rate at which the content should be read out. Now I'm adding edit text with width match parent and height wrap content. So I need ID to this. I'll give it as then int. I'll take the int as enter pitch, bracket I'll write 1.0 is normal. See, 1.0 is the normal pitch rate. Okay, so text alignment center, so text size I will take it as 15 SP. Okay, now after this, one more edit text for width, again match parent, height wrap content for entering the speech rate. So I'll take ID for this as speech rate is the ID I'm taking, and then int for this int text we'll have it as enter speech rate, and again in bracket I write it as 1.0 is normal speech rate. Next, text alignment center, text size we'll take it as again 15 SP. After this, one more edit text. Here we are going to enter the pitch, and here we're going to enter the speech rate. Now the actual text to speak, edit text, match parent, and height wrap content, close the tag, and now ID I'll take, I give it as text to speech, then text size, I'll give it as 10 SP, that is enough. Then text alignment center, so I think this is enough. And int also will take int enter text to speak. So this is what I'm creating. I'll show you in the design now. So it looks something like this. Okay, let me zoom it. So this is how it looks, the design. Still, let me zoom like this. Text to speech, pitch I enter, speech rate I enter, text to speak I enter. Now I need a button. When I click on the button, so height width match parent, height wrap content. Here ID of this, I'll take it as week, and then text on the button, I'll take it as text to speak or text to speech, and then text line center. Enough. So I'll go to the design now. See, this is how it looks. Our design looks like this. Now we'll go for writing our main activity.java. Now here one important class that is required is text to speak. So text to speak is the class that is required here. Before that, let me create objects for all the edit text that we have created. Edit text. So I need one edit text object for pitch. Then another one speech rate. Let me take it as rate. And then another is text to speak. So text to speak. So these are the three edit test objects which I'm creating, and next one button object. So I'll take the name of button. I take it as speak. The name of the object I've taken it as speak, and apart from this, we need one more class called as, there is a class with the name text to speech. So I'm creating an object of type T, so I need to press text to, so I need to select it. Yeah, this one, text to speak, speech. I'm creating an object with the name T. So next here and on create, so we'll go for creating a reference to the edit text which are there in the XML file. I say pitch is equal to find view by ID r dot id dot. So I had given the ID as pitch. Next, rate is equal to find view by ID r dot id dot r dot id dot, it is speech rate I have given. Yeah, speech rate. And next is text to speak. is equal to find view by id r dot id dot I have given it as speak or speek I have given. Okay, no problem. So text to speak. Okay, it's showing in red color. Let me delete and create it again. Text to speak is equal to find view by id r dot id dot speak. Now it's proper. Oh, again it is showing the same. Okay, let me check in the main activity .xml code. So button text to okay. ID I've given it as text to speech speech text to speech. So it does not speak. ID dot text to speech. This one. Yeah, now it is proper. So speak is the ID of the button. So now okay, button it is not necessary because I'm not going to use the on-click listener. Now it is time to initialize our text to speech object T is equal to new text to speech. So you got to pass the context this comma. So new text to speech. So this is what you need to override now on init listener. So inside this on init is the method, so which you need to override. So here let me put a semicolon. Now inside this I go for checking. So this function is called within the on create. So that means even before the form comes in front of you or the activity comes in front of you. So this is going to initialize the text to speak object. Now here I got to check if status. So for me it is now I is the variable. I is equal to text to speech dot success. If the initialization of text to speak is success, then I go for setting the language as, so many different languages which are there you can set. So I set the language as, so locale dot locale locale dot. See, these are all the languages which you can set. So English, Canada, French, China, all these things. So we'll go for English. Okay. Next, else. So if text to speech could not be initialized successfully, so then we will have a small toast message. Toast, new toast, and say text to speech could not be initialized. Text to speech could not be initialized. So this much we are doing in the on create, and we forgot to write on click event for button. So on click, let me call the function with the name. Now here, just outside on create. So this is the closing for on create. So just outside this, public void speak view v. Here I'll go for initializing. So I'll go for initializing the pitch and the speech rate. So first let me read the text that is entered by the user to speak. So I take a variable with a name string. Let me give the variable name as text is equal to. So my object is now text to speak. Text to speak dot get text is the method dot to string. So I'm reading the entire text that is entered by the user to speak. I'm assigning it to the variable text, string variable text. Next, after this, I'll go for setting the pitch and the speech rate. So first what I'll do, if pitch, so this is this object I'm using, pitch dot get text dot to string dot equals this. That means if the user has not entered anything into the pitch edit text, then I go for setting it to the normal pitch rate. So t dot, so there's a method with the name set pitch, and it takes a floating point value, so I set it to the normal pitch. So 1.0 f, say that f is to indicate it's a floating point number. So in case if the user has written something, so there, then I do t dot set pitch to, I need to read the pitch entered by the user, so and then I got to cast it into the float. So I'm using float dot parse, so parse float. So I got to pass pitch dot get text dot to string. Okay, now this is what I'm doing, and similarly I go for checking the speech rate as well, whether the user has entered the speech rate. I have taken the object name as rate dot get text dot to string dot equals this. That means if the user has not entered anything for the speech rate, so again t dot set speech rate, this is the method, speech rate to normal rate, that is 1.0 f. else t dot set speech rate, I need to pass the speech rate entered by the user. So again rate dot get text dot to string. I got to convert it into float. Yeah, let me write it first. To string. Now this whole thing must be converted into float. Float dot parse float. So I am cutting this entire thing and putting inside parse float. So now close the semicolon. Yeah, we have done. So if there is nothing entered by the user for the pitch, we are setting it to the normal pitch, that is 1.0f. Otherwise, we read whatever entered by the user, we convert it into float, and then we set it as the pitch. Similarly, we are doing for the speech rate as well. Next, after this, so t dot, so the, yeah, this one, speak. So t dot speak is the method. Now to this, I need to pass the text to speak. So text to speak is already extracted and assigned to this variable, string variable text, comma. So next is Q mode. So Q mode. So this one is Q flush. Yeah, this one. So because every time you click on the speak button by entering something, what it will do, the previous content it will erase and it will go for speaking the new content. Okay, whatever every time you click, so the previous content will be erased and it goes for speaking the new content. Similarly, you have Q add as well. So what happens here? So whatever the new content you write, it gets added to the previous content. So flush, and then it takes other parameters also. So only 2 parameters are sufficient for us. So I'll make the rest parameters, other parameters as null. So these are the 2 parameters which you have to mandatorily pass for speak method. So one is the text to speak, and then whether Q flush or Q add. So this completes your program. So now we'll go for running this. My emulator is also already running. So I'll just go for running the project. And we have created an object of button also with the name speak. That is not necessary actually. And this object is never used. We are not using it. So now we'll write something in the text box, and then I'll click on text to speak. Then the system should go for speaking. So on the emulator, we can hear with some what disturbances, but on the phone you can clearly uh, hear the text to speak. So Gradle build is running, so we have to wait for some time until this process is complete. So before that, by the time this finishes, let me show you again. This is the activity that we created. So linear layout we used with the vertical orientation. So we created one text view just to display the title as text to speech, and then one edit text for reading the pitch, one more edit text for reading the speech rate, one more edit text for entering the actual text to speak, and a button. So when you click on this button, it calls the method speak. Okay, so very simple UI we have designed. If I click on the design, so this is how the design part looks. And even in the edit text, we have written what is the normal rate, normal pitch rate, and normal speech rate also. So and up in the main activity, so we have created 3 objects of type edit text, and then all these objects are made to point to the corresponding edit text object on the XML. And then so we are initializing the, we have created one more object of type text to speech, and then we're initializing the text to speech here. So when you're initializing the text to speech object, So on init listener is called, and within that we are overriding the method called on init. So this method is a callback method which is called automatically, and then here and it initializes the text to speech T, and we are checking so whether it is successfully initialized. If it is a successful initialization, then we go for setting the language to English. Otherwise, if text to speech object could not be initialized, then we display a simple toast message saying text to speech could not be initialized. And then here in the speak method, what we are doing, um, we are reading the text that is entered by the user from the edit text, and then we are checking whether the user has set some pitch value. If the user has not set any pitch value, then we are setting it to the normal. So now the activity is launching, so we are setting the normal pitch rate, and there otherwise if the user has set something, then we are reading the pitch what is entered by the user. So pitch is something related to the tone, sometimes high tone, low tone, all these things. Speech rate is something related to the speed with which the text is read out. Now again we are checking whether the user has not entered any speech rate. If the user has not entered any speech rate, then we are setting it to the normal speech rate, otherwise to the speech rate that is entered by the user. If the user enters the speech rate which is below 1.0, then the system is going to read out the text slowly. And if the user enters the speech rate which is above 1.0, the text will be read out very fast. And this is the actual method which reads the text t.speak, and it takes two mandatory parameters required are text to speak and qflush or qadd. I'm using qflush. So my app is running. So let me come here. So let me write my name itself. So before that, let me increase the volume of the system. Yeah, I've increased it. So Rish, and it is too small. So Kumar BT, my name I've written. So I'm not entering speech and not entering the speech rate. So I click on this. So I think I need to turn on include computer audio. So let me click now. So it read out for me, Harish Kumar BT. So let me turn on the computer audio. So let me stop sharing, share back again. So let me include the computer audio for you to. Okay, now I'm clicking it again. So now I've enabled the computer audio. So if I click now, see, it is able to read. And again, I'm trying. Now let me go for entering the pitch rate 2.0 and the speech rate also 2.0 and click again. Now so fast it read because I've increased the speech rate. Let me reduce the speech rate to 0.5 and speak. So in a dragging voice. Okay, so this is the program, and if you make it as an APK and put it to your phone, so the audio quality will be still more good. So but since emulator, this is the quality of audio that we get. So thank you all.